We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside. Or maybe you're in the mood for seafood. Big Sur Oyster Bar has fresh seafood prepared right before your eyes. Savor freshly shucked oysters, crab legs jambalaya, shrimp and lobster. Beers on tap and a selection of fine wines are perfect to pair with your seafood favorite. Whether lunch or dinner, you'll love this fun atmosphere, located just off the casino floor. Ready to shake things up? Step back in time and treat yourself to one of the oldest restaurant chains in the country. Steak and Shake, famous for original mouth-watering steak burgers and hand-dipped milkshakes in a variety of flavors. For some old-fashioned fun, try Steak and Shake.
By the book. I am live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. I'm Alex White. Happy to be with you here today. Things look a little different this weekend. It is a little slow. It is expected. The week after the Super Bowl, we know the NBA and the NHL both have their All-Star events and their All-Star break. So we'll look forward to the second half of their seasons. Excited to break those down and see which teams come out a little rested. I know a lot of them needed that time off. College basketball, though, still going strong. Yesterday was a great day. A lot of upsets. We're going to get to those, do a little bit of a recap. We have a great card here today for college basketball for a Sunday. 4 games that have ranked teams, Memphis and Wichita State, starting right at 9. I do have a play in that one, but it might be a little bit too close to give that out. Sean, have those gone off the board? We'll start off right with that, though. I do like that over in that game. And the last time these two played each other, it was a very low-scoring game. Surprisingly, even though both of them like to play very fast, Memphis, the 35th pace in the country, and Wichita State, the 87th. But if you look at the box score, it was a pretty sloppy game for both of them. 42 total turnovers in that one. Wichita State just 3 of 16 from 3, and Memphis 6 of 19. So get some shots to go in and a little bit cleaner play there. I think we can get over that 150. I got it at 149.5. I also really like Florida Atlantic today, which a lot of people do. One-way action on the Owls there. Opened up 2.5. Now they're up to 4.5 and 5 at some places. But we've got revenge. This is one of my favorite bets here. Made Florida Atlantic 4.5 on the road before the home revenge, but FAU lost to Temple in the AAC tournament last year, so they will be ready to play. This is the first game this year. They've had it circled on their calendar, I am sure. Those are the only 2 plays as of right now. Coming off a good Thursday for me, 3-1 on Thursday. Thank you to Bob Custer, who did tweet that out for me as well. So I've got 2 so far on the board. I'll have a few more for you throughout the show. In about 8 minutes, Duane Colucci from the Rampart joins me. We'll get his thoughts on today's action. Maybe even has a NASCAR Daytona 500 play for us, or even some ponies. So I'm excited to talk with him, especially about one sport, because Duane and I love to talk about hockey. And I just want to give hockey their flowers really quick, because I know NBA, I know MLB, they're all trying to switch up their All-Star weekends and make them better for fans. And they're doing a good job. So we did have some If you were betting on the NBA skills yesterday, you could find some good plus money with Tyler Hero winning the three-point contest, taking down Dame Lillard, who was going for his three-peat. There was one three-peat. It was not the Chiefs last week. It was actually Mac McClung for the slam dunk contest. Had some really good ones. I know the one jumping over Shaquille O'Neal was probably the best that really sealed that. So he was a odds-on favorite, though. So not great plus money for him. Tyler Hero, I did see some 5-1, 6-1 out there if you were looking for some plus prices there. With the skills challenge, Team Cleveland, the Cavaliers, did win that one with Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell. They were about 2-1, but they were a slight favorite. So fun there. We'll see how the games go today. I will go through those odds as well later on in the show. But first, as I said, I want to talk about hockey. 4 nations. We've got Sweden, Finland, USA, and Canada, and it has not disappointed. It started off last Wednesday. Sweden forces overtime. Canada ultimately wins that one 4-3. The next day, USA and Finland looked tight at first, that first period. Then the Americans made some changes on their lines. We saw Jack Eichel and the Tkachuk brothers go off. Both brothers each had 2 goals in that one. So USA with a big win. Yesterday did not disappoint. Sweden and Finland also go to overtime. Finland upsets Sweden and gets that win 4-3. They needed it, especially after getting no points in that first game against USA. And then the big game, 3 fights in the first 9 seconds, USA and Canada up in Canada. So the emotions were definitely running, and it did not disappoint. USA, a 3-1 win, though. Of course, Connor McDavid gets Canada on the board first, and then it was all USA. So USA has 6 points right now. They are guaranteed a spot next Thursday in the championship game, which will be in America, in Boston. And now the other 3 all have 2 points. So tomorrow becomes even more important for all 3 of these teams. So I'll get Duane's thoughts on this. And tomorrow I will be back at 10 a.m. Sports by the Book now 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. I will be back here with Matt Neverett, and we will break down the 2 games tomorrow. But as of right now, USA and Sweden. So USA does not need this win. Curious how to really handicap this one. We'll talk to Duane. We'll also talk to Kenny White, professional sports bettor, my dad, who has been doing this for a long time, and get his thoughts. Finland and Canada, big game for both of them. Of course, everybody trying to make it into the championship. But I wanted to play this clip really quick. Jack Eichel, Vegas Golden Knights, as I mentioned, on a line with Brady and Matthew Tkachuk. He was asked, how does this game compare to a Stanley Cup game? And this was his answer.
How was this game compared to, say, a Cup final game?
It's that's what it feels like. It's desperation. It's just will. The game's so competitive. It's fast. It's physical. It's yeah. I mean, that's what it feels like. So I just can't give the guys enough credit. You know, from Hallie to our defensemen, all the forwards, everyone was bought in tonight, and you know, it was a good outcome.
Pretty incredible stuff there to actually be able to reenact the feelings of a Stanley Cup game here. I know playing for your country, there's a lot of pride for all of these players, but it's pretty incredible. And I think the fans have really enjoyed it and really just taken it all in. Thursday will be electric. We'll see who is going to make it to play against USA in that game. We'll also, for tomorrow, I'll look at some futures and see if there is any value. I know Canada was plus 150 going into yesterday's game, so I imagine that they'll have to be a pretty juicy price. But yeah, they still have to get through Finland, who showed a great effort in that game over Sweden yesterday to get the victory and get 2 points to tie it up with the other teams. As I mentioned, Duane Colucci joins us in just about 3 minutes, and I did already give out a couple plays in college basketball. Those games have started. Another one on the board as well. Siena and Sacred Heart up 3-2. Florida Atlantic and Temple right now tied at 2-2, and Wichita and Memphis 1-0. So we'll keep you updated on those games. We'll also get some more plays, but until Duane jumps in, let's just go over the NBA and what we have to look forward to in these games. I do like the new format that they've done. So first to 40 points. I believe it is a solid 40, but we have Kenny's Young Stars and Chuck's Global Stars. Chuck's Global Stars are 4.5 here at the South Point. That total is 75.5. And then the other game, we have Shaq's OGs, 6.5 point favorite over Candace's Rising Stars. That total is 73.5. The way I would look at these two games, it is really tough to bet these totals and or even the sides. You don't know what kind of effort you are really going to get from these NBA players. I will say Shaq's OGs, you would think that they would come out and really play hard against the Rising Stars and try to make a point there in that first game. So that is one that I could make a bet on with Shaq's OGs, or maybe even the under, because if you think they're going to be a tighter game, then you should expect more points and look more to the over. If you think it could be a blowout, maybe like a 40-20, then we can go under those 73.5. That's all I really have for you in NBA, and nothing concrete, nothing confident, nothing making my whiteboard today. But I am excited to see what we get from the NBA and their effort in that one. Still, can't get over NHL. I'm really curious if we can replicate that year after year, or if it would get a little old. Another thing happening today, NASCAR Daytona 500. We've got all the odds here at the South Point, and we've also got the best show in-house, and that is Gone Racing. So after my show, which I probably will be about 40 minutes today, stay here, South Point Studio, find Gone Racing, where Brendan Gaughan and Jeff Motley have the best advice, best odds. They're going to go through the group matchups. They go through head-to-head, and they give you some long shots that they like. So fantastic hour show for them. And, of course, if you want to watch the Daytona 500, looking for a place where you can get free entry, come here to the South Point. We've got a viewing party in the showroom. Doors open at 10 a.m., so get here, because you know how fast everything fills up here at the South Point. Free parking, great food and drink prices, and of course, the viewing party is free as well. So golf, there's also golf going on today. I'm excited about this one. Has not begun yet with the Genesis, but we are down to the last day. I love watching the PGA Tour, and as we get closer and closer, and we will have more bets for you in golf and more guests, more experts to come on and give us their thoughts on the PGA Tours as they come. But Patrick Rodgers right now in the lead. He's looking for his first PGA win, but he's got some really good golfers right behind him, including the world's best, Scottie Scheffler, just 5 back from him. Yeah, a lot. That should be a really exciting final day there, which is happening in Torrey Pines, California. So we're going to take a quick 1-minute break, because when we come back on the other side, Duane Colucci joins me here on Sports by the Book. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Once you've satisfied your hunger, get ready for more of the hottest casino games in Vegas. Our 24-hour, 30-table non-smoking poker room proudly hosts all the most popular poker games with a variety of betting limits. Visit the poker room for a schedule of daily tournaments. Whether you're going to hold 'em or fold 'em, the best place for poker is at South Point Casino. You'll notice that our craps tables are usually the loudest in the casino. If you've never played, join one of our free craps lessons to find out what makes this game so exciting. Check with the craps dealer for schedules and give it a roll. Bingo is also an exciting way to spend your time. We offer 7 sessions of bingo every day. Bingo! And each session includes a cash ball jackpot, 12 bingo games, a progressive double action game, and a $10,000 bonus coverall. Electronic units are available. If you haven't played bingo with us, give it a try today. Guests can also get in on the action at our one-of-a-kind race and sports books. 2 separate rooms designed to maximize your experience and comfort. Our sports book, with over 400 seats, puts you right in the middle of the action, 24 hours a day. The friendly ticket writers are happy to help, and it's conveniently located next to the famous Del Mar Deli, where you'll find supersized portions of delicious deli items like roast beef, pastrami, and Reuben sandwiches, or soups, salads, and pizza. plus spectacular desserts fit for a king. And right next door is the Racebook. Over 150 seats, each with its own TV screen. There are 16 interactive player terminals, so you can bet right from your seat.
Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. Sports by the Book, live from the South Point studio. Joining me now from the Rampart, Duane Colucci. Excited to get to talk with him, especially with this Four Nations going on. I know he is a big hockey fan. Duane, how are you doing? Good morning.
Doing well, Alex. How about yourself?
Doing really good. That game last night, USA and Canada, the fights, the hits, the full speed. What do you take away from this Four Nations tournament we've got going on?
Well, that's what's great about hockey. I mean, these guys, regardless of the circumstances, if there is something to play for that is, pride driven, or even for a cup for between countries to represent your nation, it becomes so exciting. And what a battle last night at the Bell Center. I mean, the Tkachuk brothers are amazing. I mean, they just come to play, and they're playing really hard nosed. Gensel, Jake was unbelievable once again. And on the other side, Connor McDavid had that blast. He just shows you how great he could be, taking control from one end of the ice to the other. But Connor Hellebuck, once again, he's a beast, this guy. I heard during the broadcast, one of the announcers said the best goaltender in the world, and he might be. I mean, enjoyable to watch.
No, it really is. And I'm happy for Hellebuck because I know a lot of questions are, can he do it in the big moments, in the big games? And we'll see. I mean, he's got the team to go all the way this year. So it's getting exciting. I do want to ask you, if Canada wins tomorrow and is playing USA in that championship, what do you take away? I mean, we didn't have Cale Makar yesterday, Shane Theodore. So they are missing some big defensemen, and USA, I mean, their defensemen, they shut down. You brought up Connor McDavid, but I mean, they shut down McKinnon. They really struggled offensively. Do you think Canada, I mean, I know they'll be ready to play and we'll have all the emotions, but how do we handicap that one?
Yeah, McKinnon looked a little disorientated, like he was, getting acclimated to new line mates, like you said, no McCaw. But keep in mind, Tkachuk Matthew did not finish the game. Right. He could not skate towards the end of the game. He told Coach John Tortorella, I can't go. And then he took in between breaks, he was getting on the ice and he was taking a couple of spins. Now, his brother Brady said he's definitely going to tough it out and play, which I could believe. I mean, the Tkachuks are animals and they're just unbelievable specimens. I mean, just great. Heart-driven hockey, and their dad instilled that from the get-go. But this is a tough game to handicap. I mean, you would assume Canada's going to win this game, but now you go back to Boston, you're not playing in the Bell Center, and you're going to have a raucous American crowd. So I would definitely make Team USA the favorite in that game, and I would have to lean towards Team USA just because the momentum has now shifted. You saw Finland was able to compete. They had a rough start in that first game, and I actually liked Finland going into this tournament, Alex. So I was not surprised. I took the plus against Sweden, but Canada should represent. This is going to be a great matchup, and I believe they will be a little more solidified. But you're missing Shea Theodore, which is a tremendous loss, and that's a tremendous loss looking forward. Handicapping the NHL Stanley Cup, if the Vegas Golden Knights don't have him, that's a serious blow. 7-year contract that he signed with us, and, we'll see moving forward how that takes effect on the Vegas Golden Knights as well as on Team Canada. And hopefully Makar could play. He's a phenomenal talent, the best defenseman in the NHL. So you add that to your roster if you're Team Canada, and that definitely enhances your chances. I think McKinnon will be more on the same page. You're going to see a lot more of Sid the Kid. He's going to be a little more explosive. And McDavid, we know, is going to be there. He's the best player on the planet.
I love it. Great analysis there. And you're right, because Makar was just an illness, so we do expect to see him back. And luckily, Matthew Tkachuk can take Monday off because USA does not need that game. I am curious on your thoughts. Is there value now on Sweden? How is USA going to play this game tomorrow? I mean, it is hockey players. They're still going to play tough, but they're already locked in for Thursday.
Yeah, you don't know how it's going to play out because, definitely you're going to sit back a little, I guess, but you're at home. So, you want to show that spirit and that win mentality, and you want to keep the pedal to the metal. It's a short series. So I would anticipate that coaching staff really motivating Team USA and keeping them going. I wouldn't switch goaltenders or anything like that, although you may want to give somebody else a chance because, like you said, Alex, you're in. So, you're in the title game. So that becomes tough to handicap. I would definitely rein the line in a little just because of the factors that you said, and you want to rest some of these key players as well and have them geared up if you do have that rematch with Team Canada, which everybody wants to see and anticipate. So, as bookmakers, you have to rein that line in a little and handicap it just a little differently because Matthew Tkachuk is definitely not going to suit up. And if anybody else is banged up that they're really not disclosing, you're going to see less ice time for those players as well.
Very interesting. And you're right. We do have Jake Ottinger behind Hellebuck on USA and even Jeremy Swayman. So if they did want to give another goalie a game, we could definitely see that happening. So we'll pay attention to that before tomorrow. I am curious, have you watched any of the NBA Skills Challenge? Are you looking forward to the 2 games tonight?
Well, the NBA, come All-Star game, it becomes very difficult, Alex, to draw my attention. The old school formats I used to love, definitely I'm interested in the three-point contest. Lillard could not complete the trifecta as, Hodges and the great Larry the Legend Bird had done in the past. So, I was interested in that. I'm always interested in the three-point contest. I think that's the real skill of the whole skills competition. I like the pass and the point guard competition as well, but the dunk competition is nowhere near what it used to be. I mean, Alex, I remember the great days of Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan going at it, the Doctor and Larry Nance. That's how old I am. So, I'm used to just explosive dunking. Even Spud Webb was phenomenal. Nate Robinson too, but now it lacks a little. You don't have that superstar power. These guys don't want to get injured because it's become a multi-million-dollar business. And leading into the playoffs, you don't want to see one of your key players go down trying to do a 360 dunk or bounce it off the backboard and you break their hand or something. So I could totally understand that. But yeah, the three-point competition is very interesting. I like the draft format. Don't get me wrong. Charles has got a big team out there. What has he got? Wemby. He's got Towns. He's got, I think he's got Joker too on his team. Yep. And Kenny Smith has got my man Jalen Brunson. Yep. So, it's definitely going to be interesting to see. It's exciting and entertaining. We do have betting on it. So, we have to pay attention as bookmakers. We're forced to because we got to put up this, to market and to garner some handles. So, yeah, it's interesting, Alex, but it's lost a little luster and there's no defense. You see the difference between the NHL. These guys are hitting, punching each other in the face. And, with the NBA, it's just going to be Showtime USA. And, it's a lot of fun at times, but it does get stale when you get into the 300-400 points. So now with this new format, when you break it down with the 4 teams, it's a little more reined in. So we'll see how it plays out. It could be better. I would say it's got to be better than what they've had in the past. And, you're seeing we have all different lines. You have the graphic down there. Kenny's team is +4.5 against Chuck, 75.5 in that shorter format here at the Rampart and South Point. So, yeah, come on down, enjoy the game. We're going to have it fired up on the video wall. A tremendous entertaining weekend, despite not having serious play in the NBA and NHL. And the college yesterday, that definitely took advantage of the break from the NHL and the NBA with that Auburn-Alabama game. That was really exciting. And today we could see if my St. John's Red Storm could get back on the beam after that loss earlier in the week, which, it was sort of anticipated, Alex, on my end, because St. John's have been running the table in the Big East, and then you see a 2-point spread, which we put up, and you knew that Villanova was going to come to play there, and they did.
That is a really big game today. I am excited to talk about that one. I do want to ask you, though, about yesterday and the college basketball. Was the place going crazy? Were you guys packed? And Auburn on the road beats Alabama 1-2, 12 of 30 from 3, and Alabama was just 5 of 26. And we know that's going to be Bama's issue, right? If those threes aren't going in, but still, I mean, that's -21 and they only lost by 9. So there is some upside there. But overall, how was your place yesterday with the college hoops and the Four Nations going on?
Yeah, it was great, Alex. I tell you, it was off the hook, and you had that jackpot carryover at Gulfstream Park. You had the Risen Star at Fairgrounds. So we had half the room that was just fired up on the horse racing, and then the other, 3/4 of the room is just watching this exciting college basketball. And it seemed you hit the nail on the head. Alabama was taking poor quality shots. If you watch that game, Alex, they were like shooting from nearly half court at times. And I think when the adrenaline started to flow, and they would close it down to one, and they would get back to within two, they started shooting wildly. And, keep in mind, Auburn was playing without a key player as well. Auburn is the best team in the country by far, in my opinion. And I think it's going to take a lot to beat this team come tournament time. And hopefully they could avoid the injury bug. But yeah, the place was fired up. And then you add at 5 o'clock that the USA and, Canada NHL game, All-Star game. It was just tremendous and a phenomenal crowd. I can't thank my patrons enough. And the handle's been off the hook. And that's in great part to Chris Andrews, Vinny, and Jimmy down there at the South Point. I love working with these guys. We're such a good team, and it just provides excitement, handle, and that's why the Rampart and the South Point are the best sports books in Las Vegas.
And always opportunity, some different bets. And that leads us right into a really fun college basketball bet. SEC versus the field. What are our updated odds on this?
The last time I checked, the SEC was a plus. I think it was plus 140 in that range. I don't have it right in front of me right now, Alex. But that's garnering great handle. I mean, you got so many good teams in the SEC. You saw that yesterday. Whether it's Tennessee, whether you're dealing with Auburn, the number one team in the country, Bama, all these good teams. It's definitely going to be tough to beat these SEC teams. We were speaking about that, Jeff and I, on the show earlier in the week, and it's a great proposition. I love that Chris comes up with these props. We do it in all the college sports, and it's become a great handle generator. And, Chris is the best. He's a mastermind. He's been in the business for so long. He, Jimmy, and Vinny, it's unbelievable. And, I bring my knowledge to the table. I've been at it for 20 plus years now, longer than that even. So, it's a great brainchild for Chris Andrews, and we're definitely getting some tremendous handle on this proposition. And, today, this week, I should say, earlier in the week, we put up baseball win totals, divisions. There's so much exciting, entertaining sporting events coming up now. You have baseball right around the corner, March Madness, Kentucky Derby, and it just keeps going. NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs. So it's a busy time. Everybody thinks we take a break after, the Super Bowl, but it doesn't stop, Alex. It never stops.
Well, no, I mean, you have 346 Division I college basketball teams. Let's talk about that one that you brought up. St. John's, they're 12-2. They're still leading in the Big East, and Creighton is looking up at them. They are 11-3. I'm curious on your thoughts on this game. St. John's is a 6-point favorite. Total looks like it's moving. I think they like the under here. It's now 142 at the South Point. Break this one down. Both teams coming off of a loss coming into this one.
Yeah, it's great to see how St. John's is, Alex. Now they're starting to move games into Madison Square Garden because Alumni Hall or Conoseca Arena, what it's called now, is just, they sell it out. So St. John's is really solid, but they have to, know how to react now coming off a loss because they hadn't lost in quite a while. We're seeing a little flash to the under in this game. 6 points at the Rampart and South Point. I think St. John's could bounce back in this game. The Garden's going to be packed and a raucous arena. Creighton's always a solid opponent here in the Big East, so this is definitely an important game for seeding in the Big East tournament. We're getting real close now to conference tournament time. St. John's doesn't want to fall into a rut and start slipping up now, so this becomes a very important game. Rick Pitino will have his team focused. I like St. John's' chances here, but 6 points is a lot of points. It could fall within that number.
Definitely could. And we know that both of them are going to be playing hard. St. John's, though, right now, second in defense efficiency, according to Ken Pom. Very impressive what Pitino has done there. I want to ask about another event that is happening today. We do have the NASCAR Daytona 500. How has the handle been so far at the Rampart and here at the South Point? Because I know you guys do a great job. You have a bunch of options here, including the group matchups, which I listened to Brendan Gaughan and Jeff Motley, and they always break these down and have really made these very fascinating. So how's it looking over there? And do you have anyone that you like today?
Well, I'm not a big NASCAR guy, I'll be honest with you, Alex, but we're generating great handle. I have it right here. Hamlin is down to 10-1 to win the Daytona here. He's definitely generating some handle. Bubba Wallace, as usual, he's a market popular name in the market. He's at about 16-1. I love to listen to Brendan. He's got all that experience. So, definitely his picks and the show that we have here at the South Point studio is definitely important when you come to this time of the season. Like you said, you have the groupings and all sorts of different matchups that we put up at the Rampart and South Point. South Point has a great affiliation with the Speedway out there. So, we're definitely generating handle and the place to bet NASCAR. But currently, it looks like Hamlin is the favorite at 10-1 at my shop and at the South Point. Field is at 20-1 naturally. You get all these other drivers. Chase Elliott 12-1, Blaney 12-1, Kozlowski, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch also 10-1. He's the co-favorite. So Kyle Busch has taken some money as well as Hamlin. We're going to see how these guys play it out. It's very dangerous out there. You have to be careful. And there's always a weather factor when you're dealing with Daytona. I've noticed that. I'm not the biggest NASCAR handicapper, but keep your eye on the weather, Alex. We don't want this race going into Monday or Tuesday. Let's get it done, and let's have an exciting, safe Daytona 500. And, we're getting great handle out here at the Rampart. Very exciting.
Definitely. And I know in the last few years there have been some pretty big, juicy long shots that have won because it is pretty tough to handicap. And but I am one more question before I let you go, Duane, because we do have a Big Ten game about to start here at 10 with Michigan and Ohio State. It is pretty shocking to see with the Big Ten. Purdue now loses 2 in a row. Michigan State, Tom Izzo is now the winningest coach in the Big Ten after that big win yesterday over Illinois. But Michigan, are you shocked to see what they have done this year? And right now we do have Ohio State 1.5 point favorite at home and the total 152. So 1.5. So I think they like the points here with Michigan. What are your thoughts overall on this game and the Big Ten in general?
Well, Michigan has played very well, Alex. It's been a shock. And the current line at the Rampart and South Point is 1.5. You touched upon that. Ohio State is -1.5. We have a total of 152 right now. That's to the second. Definitely. You're looking at a KenPom of 22, like you said, for Michigan. You drop right down, and Ohio State is at 28. So that's a high ranking for a team that actually has double-digit losses, which Ohio State does have. So, I think Ohio State they perceive that they're a more talented team, and moving forward, they need to win games now. This is an important game. I think Ohio State has to win at home. I like their chances. Michigan has been the surprise, 19-5, Alex. That's really a shock. I mean, nobody thought that Michigan was going to be this good this year. So Ohio State's got to start to win games. This is where you start right now, -1.5 at the Rampart and South Point. I like Ohio State in this game.
Great breakdown there, because you are right. Just 7-7 in the conference. They do really need to start winning some games. And the Big Ten kind of changed their format. Not everybody is going to be in that conference tournament. So they're all going to be playing hard down the stretch. Duane, thank you so much for the time. Looking forward to anything else. Hey, you have any horse bets in already?
Well, Alex, they unfortunately canceled Aqueduct. The weather is crippling on the East Coast. I'll start to do my Fairgrounds handicapping. We just missed yesterday. I went to the last leg of the Pick 5 at Fairgrounds, and an incredible upset in the Risen Star. Steve Asmussen, once again, he is the master. I mean, this guy's got how many wins? He's a Hall of Famer, and he put over a horse at 43-1 that I didn't have with Curtis in the saddle. So, that was a little tough. I'm going to look at Fairgrounds today. And definitely, I will text you if I have a horse so you could give it out on the show prior to the ending of the show. I'm looking as we speak. Thank you, Alex. You're the best. I always enjoy our conversations and joining you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Duane. Looking forward to see if we get a text for a horse bet. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks, Alex. I appreciate being on.
I'm going to take a quick 1-minute break. When I get back, we're going to go through the biggest matchups today in college hoops, and then we'll give out my final plays of the day here on Sports by the Book. I'll be right back.
Get ready to laugh with Punchlines with Frank Nicotero. Join Frank and his team of featured guests for your daily dose of comedy.
Reno, the Pittsburgh of the West.
Poison.
Yeah.
Poison.
Sports.
F for Falcons, Alex. We were talking Derek Carr for MVP after 2 games. Okay, me. I was.
And the funniest social media posts.
People want to show off their food. Boom. Wiener on a guy's shoulder. It's the Tards, Colts. We bleed blue.
It's your one-stop spot for great laughs and a good time. Find us on YouTube at Punchlines FN and join the chat live weekdays at noon Pacific for the ultimate blend of jokes, sports, and viral fun.
Let's keep it going here on Sports by the Book. We've got at least 10 college basketball games I want to hit on before I get you out of here. Remember, check out Gone Racing right after this show. See if you have any long shots that you want to jump in from Brendan Gaughan and Jeff Motley. Thank you to Duane Colucci. I don't know how he does it. It's tough enough for me to keep up with all of these sports going on, but he is handicapping horse racing all the time as well. Speaking of horse racing, make sure and check out Ralph Soroka's show, which is 5 days a week here live from the South Point studio. So you definitely want to see that one as well. One of the best shows. I mean, he's got a million guests and they all do a fantastic job. So last but not least, we have one more show here at the South Point studio. That is Punchlines FN. It is Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, Friday at 12. Punchlines FN is the YouTube channel. I will be back tomorrow with Frank Nicotero. Excited to break down this hockey weekend. We'll talk NBA skills contest, of course, and Frank's going to have us talking about baseball before you know it. So win totals are up. We will start diving into those as well. I'm going to check in with the chat quickly. Good morning to everybody. Thank you for chiming in and being here with me. I do want to hit on Mike Ferdella. He did say that game was tight. You forget how close that game was, and the goalies were the difference in it, and he is correct. I did say it was all USA after McDavid's goal, but it was a tight, great game, and both of them played very tough, and Hellebuck really does deserve credit for that win. Patty Roundoff is in here, Nick Sansone, Roger Long, and Keith Lyle. So thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate you guys being here with us today. Few more games, and might have a special guest pop in on the show with Chris Andrews just walked into the studio. So let's get to a few more games here in college hoops. Big game here in the Summit. South Dakota State. I do not have a play on this one, but South Dakota State, and maybe Chris Andrews has one on this one. South Dakota State, South Dakota? Okay, nothing for him in that one as well. But giving you the current line right now, South Dakota State is a 5-point favorite, the total 172.5. South Dakota State won the first matchup at home, 90-71. Pretty high-scoring game as expected. South Dakota is now number 1. They jump ahead of Alabama in pace and possessions per game. We know the Jackrabbits can run as well. So I think that number is just right, both the side and the total, so nothing for me in that one. I did skip over Michigan and Ohio State. Sorry, Sean, but we did kind of talk about it with Colucci, and I think he makes a great point. Ohio State needs this win. They are 29th in defense efficiency, so if they can come to play here at home, I also think they will be trying to control the pace in this one at 152. I lean to the under. Michigan likes to run, though, so they are going to have to really do their best to slow them down. Let's go to Missouri Valley. Top 2 in the conference. Game right after that one. Looking at your betting board, 8-3-1, 8-3-2. Bradley and Drake. Bradley second right now in Missouri Valley, and Drake is number 1. So Bradley looking up at them. And they also have home revenge. So getting very close to being able to take those points here with Bradley. I mean, you had 2.5 and you're right there. I do think Drake should be a 5-point favorite at home. I also made this total 125. So a little bit of a lean to the under or to taking the points with the dog in this one. This is a big game for Bradley, so I would lean to taking the points even more. Let's check both of their defenses. Drake, 58th right now in the country in defense efficiency, 74th offense. Bradley, better on the offensive side, that's for sure, but I think that they will be ready to play in that one. Win over South Dakota State and South Dakota. If there's any other games that I go through or I skip past, you can go ahead and put them in the chat and I can go back and check the sheet. I'm really just hitting on the big ones and looking for ones that I do have a difference and I do have plays on. Let's go to Creighton and St. John's. You heard Colucci. St. John's coming off of their first loss in a while to Villanova. They're a 6-point favorite at home. The total 142. I really like this under. I'm just a little bit nervous here with both of these offenses, but St. John, as I mentioned, second right now in defense efficiency. The first time these two played each other, there was only 113 points in that game. Creighton won at home 57-56. No revenge for either side, but if Creighton can control the pace again and slow this down and we can rely on St. John's defense, I think under 142 is the play in that one. Moving ahead here, Nebraska and Northwestern. First game this year for these two. Nebraska 16-9, 3-8 in the Big Ten. Right now they are last in that. No, they are 10 in that conference of 18. And then Northwestern is 13-12, 4-10 so far in conference play. Looking at the live line right now, Nebraska 1-point favorite on the road, total 141. I have this game pick 'em and 138.5. I like to have a 5-point difference, as I have learned. Third generation handicapper. It's been passed down to me. 5-point difference on the total, 2.5-point difference on the side. So nothing really here, not enough to jump either way. I do think Nebraska will be ready to play coming off of that loss the other day to Maryland. So should be a big game for them, but nothing for me in that one. Let's go to the top of the Mountain West. Utah State, New Mexico. Thank you, Sean. New Mexico, 4.5 at home, total 159.5. We know New Mexico and Utah State both like to play fast. New Mexico, 4th fastest right now in the country. I think New Mexico should be a bigger favorite here at home. It's a tough place to play. I'm going to have to add that to the board. That is a play for me in this one. They've got to win this right now. They're 1 of 11. Utah State is looking up at them, but they want to keep that spot right now. Let's take a look at some of the trends with both of these teams. I mean, Utah State definitely. So they have played once already this year as well. Utah State lost that one at home, so we do have to add in that home revenge for Utah State. Taking a look at some trends right now for you. Nothing crazy. New Mexico's 12-1 straight up at home, 7-6 ATS, and then Utah State is 7-1 on the road and 4-4. So nothing really here to help us with the trends. So I think New Mexico should be about 6.5 here, but we're going to give Utah State 2.5 for the revenge, and we're going to stay off of that play. Anything on the total, 163.5. I do lean to that over. Curious to see where that opened and if it has been bet that way. So we can see if we want. My dad always says not to make a play when this team's going the other way and you're bet into a play. Open 159.5, currently 159.5. That is a definite lean to the over at 159.5. Couple more on the board for you that I really want to talk about here today. Looking at South Florida and UAB. Good AAC matchup here between these two. UAB right now 8-3 in conference play. They are 3rd of 13. South Florida, not so great. 8th of 13, 5-7 in conference play. They do have the better defense in this game, and they do have home revenge. Lost January 15th, 92-83. Just double checking my numbers here quickly, and then I'm going to take a quick break and bring in another guest. So 8, add that into South Florida, giving them home revenge, and that kind of keeps us off of this play as well. 157.5. I do like this over, and that's because of Alabama Birmingham and their pace, 74th in the country in pace. The thing with South Florida, very quick on the offensive side, and then they play very good transition defense on the other side. So they will try and slow down UAB and their offense. but I do like the over. I'm going to add that one to the list. Over 157.5 for me. 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere, please. We're going to bring Chris Andrews in here just to chat a little bit before we get out of here and let you have a great Sunday. We'll be back in 30.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Welcome back, everybody, for the last time here on this Sunday. I'm Alex White. Joining me now in studio is the sportsbook director here at the South Point, Chris Andrews. I had Duane Colucci today. Now I get Chris.
Oh, it's your lucky day.
It is. It's a great Sunday. You came in to talk about some Daytona 500 news.
I walked down to I know the doors are supposed to open at 10 o'clock, but they started opening them early, and people were already coming in, and you see guys with their NASCAR jackets, and we get a very enthusiastic NASCAR crowd here. Probably a lot has to do with Brendan Gaughan.
Yes.
With his weekly show. But, we got we got a ton of matchups. I can't even tell you what they are, but a ton of matchups, a ton of those groups.
I love those groupings.
Yeah, we got the groups. We got individual matchups, too, a whole bunch of them that they put up this morning. And we'll have the watch party. So the race, I guess, is scheduled for 11:30, but it's starting to fill up already.
Because I saw yesterday they'd moved it up an hour because of weather.
Oh,
so
really?
I wonder if 11:30 was the original or if that is the moved up time.
I'm not sure. I was just looking at the schedule.
Yeah, so get here ASAP.
Yeah.
We said doors open at 10. They are already open.
They're open. And I don't want to say it's starting to fill up, but people are definitely filtering in. So you come on down, get a good seat, and all our food specials and that drink specials that we're famous for here at South Point. So.
Very good. And is there anything you like? Is there a manufacturer or anything that you usually look at?
No, I don't want to pretend like I know anything. But I heard you talking about the hockey last night. What a great event that was. Man, oh, man. And like I said, I'm an American, obviously. I cannot root against Sidney Crosby, even though Sullivan was the coach of the American team.
I know.
But I have more allegiance to Sid. So, but I thought it was just a great game. And, you've been to Stanley Cup games, have you not?
Yeah.
I've been to quite a few. I don't want to say quite a few, but I've been to some. I always thought there's nothing. And I've been to Final Fours, NBA playoff games, Super Bowls. I thought nothing was more intense than a Stanley Cup game until last night. That was intense all the way through.
Are you surprised that they just took off the gloves right away?
Okay, funny story. So I went to pick up a pizza to take home to watch the game. So I walk in, and just as the game's starting, and I'm talking to the guy, New York guys, so they're kind of hockey fans. I was like, what the hell? They're 2 seconds into the game and they're fighting already? Yeah, he loves hockey. And then, okay, I pay for my pizza. I look, one more second elapses off the clock. There's another fight. So now I'm holding my pizza. I says, well, I'm going to watch the first rush to the goal. There's another fight. You have 3 fights in 9 seconds. And I'm glad they've cleaned up the game a little bit since the 70s and the 80s. But, that wasn't bad. And last night, just seeing the intensity that these guys had, that was really something else.
It's funny because Nick actually wrote in here that the Tkachuk brothers are gaining more fans that previously disliked them. And I'm one of them because Matthew Tkachuk was not my favorite guy. When he's playing against your team,
right,
he's very easy to dislike. When he's representing your country.
Yeah. I'm probably in the same boat as you. Like I said, I had very mixed emotions watching that game last night, but the intensity, listen, I'm a hockey fan mostly because I'm a Penguin fan, but I love the game itself. And boy, that game was just terrific last night.
It was really nice to see Sidney Crosby get the player of the game in that first one against Sweden.
He didn't do much yesterday.
Well, the defenseman of the Golden Knights, USA, and Hellebuck. I mean,
Hellebuck was terrific, and I thought really, and again, I don't want to pretend like I know more about hockey than I do. I don't, but between Tortorella had like a defensive plan, Sullivan had an offensive plan, and the offensive plan was mostly execution and control of the puck. That sort of thing. And the U.S., certainly outplayed Canada, no doubt about it.
It'll be interesting because I was talking about it with Duane because now tomorrow we have 2 more.
Yeah.
And USA has Sweden, but they don't really have anything to play for.
What's the situation to go into the final?
So right now, USA has 6 points. And the other 3 each have 2.
Oh, USA has nothing to play for. Exactly right.
USA has nothing to play for. They're already locked in.
I keep
They're
forgetting where my allegiances are here. So, okay. Yeah, USA has nothing to play for. What's Canada? Can they still make the final?
Yes, they can.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So Canada's really trying to win in regulation because they'll get 3 points against Finland. And then, it'll be interesting. I guess USA doesn't really want to let Sweden win. I would give them 3 points or... I don't know. They did a fantastic job. Can we replicate this year after year, though? Because it's just so fun. We haven't seen it in so long.
I don't know if we could do it year after year. I saw a couple years ago, and I think David Stern was still the NBA commissioner. They talked about having a similar situation for the NBA All-Star Game because the NBA All-Star Game is just a joke. They've revised it some, but if you had the U.S. versus the rest of the world.
Ooh.
And Stern said he didn't like the idea. He thought it would be too intense. But after watching the hockey yesterday, I forget the too intense. I think that would be a great tournament.
Yes.
And you look at even since Stern has passed away, I don't know. I mean, you can make an argument the best players right now are not from America.
Agreed.
Yeah. Doncic, Antetokounmpo, Jokic, they might be the 3 best players in the league, and none of them are American.
Well, Giannis, so he's not playing tonight, but he would play hard, I think.
Oh,
we don't know what we're ever getting from Joker. He might kind of mess around and take some shots. But maybe in a game like that, where it's the world versus USA, we saw him in the Olympics.
Yeah, and like they were saying last night, one of the common sayings was the front of the name on the front of the jersey is more important than the name on the back of the jersey. And I think you would see, a similar effect if we did that in basketball. I don't know. It's a different mentality between hockey and basketball. A lot of basketball players, and they made jokes about it, and they're kind of true. They don't like to play back-to-backs. In hockey, man, the guys famously playing like with broken legs and things like that. It's just a whole different mentality.
Oh my God, there was a clip just recently where a guy lost a couple teeth.
Yeah.
They went back to sew him up, and part of his tooth is sewed in his mouth, and he's playing the rest of the game like that.
That's hockey players.
It is insane. But I think they should give it a try for NBA.
I think it's worth discussing, I can tell you that.
Yeah, that we just don't want any injuries. Nice, clean, well, not clean. They're hitting hard. But
last night?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you bet.
But, I mean, Shea Theodore going down in that first game for Team Canada, it's not good when your team's really trying to make a push for the Stanley Cup. But has been so much fun.
Yeah, it means a lot to these guys, you can tell.
It definitely does. I'm looking forward to tomorrow and for Thursday. We'll see who is in the championship. So what does the rest of the day look like for you? Stepping in that party?
I'm sure I'll stop in. I might be out early today.
Okay. It's a decent card for Sunday for college basketball,
I wore my
right?
Oregon shirt. They're the only team. They got a game later on today, so we got a couple of, Big Ten games.
Big Ten games.
You're still getting used to that.
I am too. I really am. Oregon hosting Rutgers, of course. Rutgers coming off a pretty tough loss. They've been struggling as of late. Oregon 7 now here at the South Point, total 155. What do you think? Iowa and Maryland are playing tonight, and it looks like a pretty good total.
Yeah.
You don't love totals, though.
I'm not a totals guy. That's more up your alley.
I've been burned by Iowa lately, trying to ride their overs, and you guys have adjusted nicely, I guess.
Iowa's got some issues this year.
Yeah, they do. Let's see if they have any trends that way. Not much, so we'll stay off of that one, too. I do have 3, though. Well, these 2 are going on now, but I am going to go over in the South Florida and UAB game. Just get that current line, and then we will get out of here. But again, Chris, thank you for stopping in. I know that party is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just walked down there. Like I said, we're going already, so come on in.
And I'm excited because Brendan Gaughan throws a great blackjack, not poker, blackjack tournament, which is very different.
Yeah.
We got to have a South Point studio crew in there.
Yeah.
Which I'm very grateful. And I have a cool jacket now, too.
Do you?
Yes, Frank and Jeff and I. So I should put it on and join the party. I'll fit right in there. But yeah, so, and that I believe he does it every year here. Yeah. Right?
Oh, Brendan, he's plenty involved in things that happen here at South Point.
So here are my 3 for the day. So I really just have 1 for later, and that is South Florida and UAB over 157.5. Let's see how those other 2 are doing as of right now. So Temple 31-29 over FAU. And then we've got 32-27 Memphis and Wichita State. I like that. That first half is almost over, though. So if you didn't follow my FAU, you could jump in now and probably get some probably get some points with them. But that's it for us for today. For Chris Andrews, I'm Alex White. Thanks so much for being here with us today. Thanks for everybody in the chat. We'll see you again tomorrow, 10 a.m. here. This has been Sports by the Book.
Sean playing while injured. He could be